Hello. Blender isn't limited to donuts. One thing I don't see creators talking about too often is using Blender to create CG environments for music videos. Check this one. It's the music video for the song Like a Villain by Bad Omens. It was originally made by Ori McGuinness in Unreal Engine, but let's try recreating it in Blender. We can tell it's a CG environment because the spotlight doesn't light the singer when it passes over. I'll be focusing on this city street scene, which is clearly inspired by Blade Runner. First, I'm blocking in the shot with basic geometry. I like to get the framing and scene composition mostly done before I start detailing or setting up lighting. Don't overthink the details. Music videos are very chaotic, with rapid cuts between shots, shaky cameras and dynamic lighting. Because of this, and the fact that the viewers will be focusing on the music, we can get away with quite a bit. Once the blockout is complete, start replacing the simple shapes with detailed assets. About 90% of these are from the free Kitbash cargo library. I'm throwing a simple overcast HDRI in there for some global illumination. I'll turn the strength down later when I start adding the final lighting setup. Here I'm using a hair particle system to scatter some garbage around. If this was for client work, I would definitely spend more time on this step. I'm using the weight paint tool and connecting the density parameter of the particle system to the weight paint group. These graffiti decals help add some extra detail and realism to the scene. Okay, on to lighting. The main light is a large spotlight. I'm messing with the spot size and blend controls until I'm happy with the look. Let's add the fog, create a giant cube and plug a volume scatter into the volume socket of its material. Bring the density way down. The anisotropy value changes how much the fog is focused around the light source. You might need to increase the strength of your lights. Here I'm shifting the color of the light to blue. I made a mistake here. I was referencing the original on my second monitor, which is a cheap LCD screen with bad colors. I thought the light was blue, but it's actually closer to teal. I'll fix this later with color grading, but I just wanted to mention it because I think it's an interesting little lesson I learned. Be careful when using two different screens. This vehicle was free on CG Trader. I'm replacing the original lights with some warm spotlights. The rest of the process is just tweaking everything. Dial in the materials, add some extra street details, and really nail the lighting and composition. We can animate the light using noise modifiers. Add a keyframe for the rotation on frame 1. Open the Graph Editor side panel and add a noise modifier. Tweak the settings until we get a searchlight. Now we can add the character. If this were a real project, I'd film the band members on a green screen, key them, and import them onto planes. For this video, I'm just going to use a free 3D character that I rigged and set up a simple animation for. To animate the character, I followed Ian Hubert's technique in this video, link in the description. Basically just create a simple rig and use auto keyframing to animate him. Now for the fun part, I just treat this environment like a film set. Create a camera and walk around the scene with Shift tilde. Look for interesting angles and use different focal lengths to find shots. I'm using the free Shakeify add-on to add some camera shake. Render these shots out and bring them into your software of choice. I'm using Resolve. I also fixed the color issue I mentioned earlier and added some grain and bloom. I talk about post-processing in my previous video. Here's my finished sequence with some copyright-free rock music because I can't afford a good lawyer. Now you can make music videos for local bands and finally pay off the mortgage, so long as the bank accepts exposure as a payment method. If you find this content valuable, please like and subscribe so I know to make more. Thanks everyone. I hope you found the video helpful.